Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Soul Standing. My name is Beth, and I am here today to discuss a brand new middle grade novel coming out from Random House Books for Young Readers. It is a debut novel by Ty Keller, and it is called The Science of Breakable Things. Don't you just love this cover? It's absolutely gorgeous. I was sent an advanced review copy by Penguin Random House, and this book comes out on March the 6th. So, right now, it comes out right now. This is an absolutely beautiful debut novel. I cannot wait to see what else Ty Keller can come out with if this is what her first novel does. It's beautifully written. It is different from anything else I've read, and I thoroughly enjoyed all of it. There are some hard hitting topics in here that are handled beautifully. I don't know how many times I'm going to say the word beautiful in this review, but it's very well handled, very well written, and just amazingly done, in my opinion. Um, so this book is about Natalie Nepoli. Her father is half Korean, half Italian, uh, and a therapist. Her mom is a botanist who is suffering from depression, and she is in middle school. Her science teacher, on the first day of class, hands out some composition notebooks to each student and declares that they are their wondering notebooks and that they are each to choose an important question that they are then going to use the scientific method to research throughout the school year and turn in at the end of the year for their final project. Natalie decides that she is going to kind of research how to grow a miracle. She is going to look into trying to grow hope and help her mother get out of the depression that she is suffering from. Um, This book is absolutely beautiful. It deals with friendships, it deals with family relationships, it deals with depression, it deals with her father and him not wanting to have his Korean half, the culture from his Korean half, uh, really dealt with in the family, even though his mother raised him and she is a full blooded Korean woman. His father passed away or left or something when he was very young. So he was raised by a single Korean mother. And he says he doesn't want any more culture in his life. He's had plenty of it. So even though Natalie is a quarter Korean and her grandma wants her to call her Halmoni, which is the Korean word for grandmother, and her grandmother comes over for Thanksgiving every year and all of that jazz. Natalie doesn't really know much about that part of her culture, her family history, and her mother is a botanist who Natalie remembers as being just this amazing, lively individual. But over the summer, mom kind of sank deeper and deeper into depression and slowly locked herself away into the bedroom. So at the beginning of the school year, Natalie just really doesn't know who she is or what's going on in her family. And at the very first page, you see that the entire book is set up like the composition notebook that Natalie would be filling out for us. The entire book is actually her composition notebook. So we have the different sections, and then it's set up like a normal book after that. But it's basically her observations and things that are happening throughout the school year as though she is writing them down in her journal. So we see everything from her perspective. We get to meet Twig, who is her best friend, whose mom is a supermodel and whose parents are divorced. We meet Dari, who is a new friend that they make who has immigrated from India with his family and uh, is incredibly smart and helps him a lot in science. And we get to meet Mr. Neely, the new science teacher, some of the other kids in their class, most particularly, I believe her name is Michaela. Yes, Michaela Minzer, whose mom is Natalie's mom's boss and who used to be Natalie's best friend. And this entire book just kind of explores all the relationships in Natalie's life and how confusing a time sixth grade really can be for anyone, but especially for someone whose mom is just not the same as she normally is and whose dad is a therapist, obviously. So I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. I think it is absolutely amazing. I think it is definitely worth your time, whether or not you enjoy middle grade novels. I think that anyone can pick this up and really feel the emotions and the story that Natalie is going through. You really become part of that story. And it's it doesn't go slowly. It has a really good pace, but you read something and then you realize that there's been this buildup and this change that's slowly been happening throughout this section of the story, so that something changes and you realize that it has changed, but it's been slowly building in the background. So you didn't really notice it until all of the pieces were put together. And I think that that takes a lot of talent, and that Ty Keller has done an amazingly wonderful job with this book. I know that I intend to buy a finished copy to put on my bookshelf at school. Normally, I take my ARCs and put them on the bookshelf for students to read, but I think this one is going to stay on my home shelf, and I'm going to buy a finished copy, um, to put on my bookshelf at school, support this author and what she's trying to do. And I'm definitely going to suggest to our school librarian that we pick up a copy ASAP, so that the entire school has a chance to pick this up and read it. I hope that you will as well. Thank you again to Random House Books for Young Readers for sending this my way. I can already tell you that I'm going to be rereading this several times throughout the next few years. I hope that you guys will pick this up, and I hope that you have a fabulous week. Until next time, read a good book. I'll see you soon.